All right, are you guys ready to have some fun and learn some cool stuff? I know it's been a long day, but you are about to be part of the Bad Crypto Live experience here to round out the day. There we go.
We're about to crack some jokes, about to have some amazing guests up here.
You gonna make some jokes?
Yeah, we got some news we want to talk about, all about France.
And we're going to have some opportunity. If you are with a crypto project, a blockchain project of any kind, and you want an opportunity to be on our show, we do a segment later in the show called the 30-second crypto pitch. 30 seconds to share your project, and then Travis will go.
For those folks that are leaving, you guys don't get to be part of it.
No pitch for you guys.
Yeah. Get out of here, pitches.
So, I don't know if that translates.
I don't know.
I don't know if it translates or not. So, this is going to be recorded as though this is going to be distributed on our podcast channel. We have over 30,000 subscribers on iTunes, and then we've got subscribers on Spotify and iHeartRadio and all the other places. So this is an opportunity basically for you to reach our audience at no charge to you for 30 seconds. So just to make sure we've got enough quality projects in the room, please raise your hand if you would like to be courageous enough to spend 30 seconds on the stage telling the world about your crypto project.
We got number one.
Where?
Where's number two? Who's going to be number two?
Wait. Where was number one?
Number one's right
Number
there.
one.
Was with a hand raised
so
up
remember
so
the
high.
number because we're going to call you in that order. Who's duh? Duh, right there. Toi?
Toi?
Come on, people. You're working with projects. We're giving you free airtime here to tell the world about your project.
This is your chance to also be on stage and be brave.
That's right, also.
To work on your professional speaking abilities.
I mean, we need 10 to make this thing really hop.
Let's go.
So.
Next, toi.
We got 3?
No. We got on and deux.
Hey, if they don't want to be on, they don't want to be on. We're not going to force anybody to do
on.
anything they don't want to do.
That's it.
All right. So we're going to do the show the way that we do it, sitting at our microphones at our studios back in Denver, Colorado, and Kansas City, Missouri.
Although I don't normally sit in a pink chair.
No, but that's great. I think that's perfect for you.
You planned this on purpose, didn't you, Mr. Joel Comm?
I did. I said I'm sitting in the yellow chair.
Be in the pink chair.
I want you in the pink chair. I feel more masculine as a result, just a little. And so what we're going to do is we're going to record it as though we're sitting behind our microphones, and that means that I'm going to call out various breaks so that our editor can then edit this and create the final show, which is going to air on Wednesday, April the 24th.
Yes, episode 262.
Yeah,
the Bad Crypto Podcast.
Okay, you're not supposed to say that because you're going to trigger the guy up there. He's like, as soon as we say that, start playing the music, and you just totally threw him off.
I didn't know that was the trigger.
That was the trigger. It's a trigger word.
He doesn't tell me these things.
It's a safe word. So you guys will be able to hear the show on the podcast streams, edited in a week. Is it a week? 24th? When's the 24th? Soon. So Mr. Guy up there, Nicole, up in the booth, I'm going to read that teaser now. Don't listen to him. Just listen to me. Give me a clap for our engineer. And just, there's the clap. Okay.
It's kind of a clap.
Here we go in 3, 2. There's nothing like surrounding yourself with Peter. Peter? Who's Peter?
I don't know.
Try that again. Take 2.
Don't surround yourself with
Don't
Peter.
surround yourself with Peter. That guy, you get around him, it's just bad news.
Awkward.
Sorry, Peter, if you're out there. Here we go. 3, 2. Now I can't do this. There's nothing like surrounding yourself with people smarter than yourself. And that's exactly what we're experiencing now as we're on stage at Paris Blockchain Week. I think we can get a better woo than that.
That was the weakest woo.
We're going to try that again. At Paris Blockchain Week. Attended by over 1,500 people at the incomparable Station F, the team has done a great job of putting together a first-rate event packed with knowledge. And today, we're pleased to show you the future of trading crypto futures as we welcome Adam Todd of Digitex Futures to the show. We've also got Alex Mashinsky, CEO of Celsius.network on board. He's passionate about making sure blockchain is a win for the people and is not taken over solely by government institutions or banks. We'll share some of the latest news and provide attendees to the conference an opportunity to give their own 30-second crypto pitch. We're just two Americans in Paris, spreading the good news of blockchain in a very bad way. I might even try out some very bad French. It's because we are excited to be in the land that gave us Jacques Cousteau, croissants, and It's episode number 262 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Hey, bonjour from France, Mr. Travis Wright. It is the Bad Crypto Podcast, the show for the crypto curious and the crypto serious. I am Monsieur Joel Comm.
Yes. And I'm just curious. You said France is giving us Jacques Cousteau croissants and oh ho ho. What is oh ho ho?
It's like French laughter. It's like
Is that how you laugh for us real quick? Is that how you laugh? Oh ho ho.
I heard a
guess
couple.
it is.
There is a couple of ho-hos out there.
I was trying to figure out what the hell that was. I was like, and oh ho ho. Like,
I write the teasers. You just be the
is
handsome
that the
person.
mating sound? Oh ho ho. Oh, ho, ho.
The mating sound of the Frenchman. Is that?
Frenchman.
I don't know, ladies. Is that what happens? I don't know if we want to.
Hello. Oh ho ho.
We do not want to go there, but apparently we already have gone there. Yes, heard around the world in 180 or so countries. It was 190 last week, but banned from North Korea once again.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, Kim Jong, he liked the show, then he didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
I was unaware.
He was a big fan.
He was.
Yeah. Then
Like him and Dennis Rodman.
yeah, that was it.
We're listening to Bad
Then he
Crypto,
tuned us
hanging
out.
there and
7 million downloads in the first year and a half or so, and we've been at this since July 2017. Seen a lot of things in the crypto world. And this episode actually brought to you by the folks at Digitex Futures. They are a commission-free futures trading exchange. They have 1.3 million people on the waiting list to join their platform.
1.3 million?
1.3 million. The platform opens up on April 30th, and you're actually going to get to hear more about that today because we're going to have our guest here, Adam, in just a little bit to tell you about that. But before we do, let's check in on the latest news. And that's where our cool engineer will put in this music that's like, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba.
It's very well produced.
Yeah, it sounds just
really,
like that, too.
Really good, Mr. Jocom.
All right. So
We've scared away 2 listeners from the crowd already.
Listen, they're the smart. You guys aren't bad. You ain't bad. You ain't bad. All right.
Like I must get more croissant witches. I am hungry for the wine. No? Thirsty. I'm thirsty for the wine.
All right. Timestamp 5:48 in Paris right now on Tuesday, April 16th. Coin market cap sitting at $172 billion and a half. Bitcoin $5,000 and $5,095. Ethereum $163. XRP 32 cents. Bcash $311. EOS $538. Litecoin $79. Binance Coin 19 1/3. Tether holding tight at $1. Stellar 11 cents, and Cardano rounding out the top 10 at 8 centavos.
Right. What about BSV?
BSV is at 55 right now. Probably the biggest loser over the last 24 hours.
That was the biggest drop since Bitcoin, wasn't it?
Down 15%.
That thing tanked. It was crazy.
Over the last 24 hours.
There's some news around that. We're going to talk about that.
There is some news around Bitcoin SV that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But first of all, let's bring it close to home. And by home, I mean right here, right now, because you guys here at the conference are in the news. This is on Yahoo News. France pushes to become global hub for blockchain. The tech behind blockchain, and Paris Blockchain Week Summit is right here, front and center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, France's, did you say Franche?
Franche.
France's digital minister, Cedric O, I guess that's his name. He said that
It's
Paris
Cedric
Blockchain it's a message we send to the world. The French are ready to welcome you, to accompany you, and to help you develop. So there's a lot of amazing stuff that's going on here in France, aside from just the blockchain week. I mean, there's one of the largest accelerators, incubators in the world right here. So there's a lot of great stuff happening in France, specifically in this building.
Yeah, and for those who don't think blockchain is significant and relevant, well, that's fine. They can think that. The rest of us are going to keep moving forward in development, and then one day they're going to wake up and be like, oh, that was actually a thing. If you'll think back to when Jeff Bezos started selling books out of his garage, they laughed at him, and they said it would never work. I think we beat that horse.
True. That's okay.
That one's dead.
We just had two more people leave.
You just another person right out of the room.
I'm so sorry, my friend.
Yeah, so they're not laughing at Jeff Bezos now, the richest man in the world, and I think that we're going to experience the same thing when it comes to blockchain, is that there's the naysayers will say nay no more.
They might actually say that about this podcast. They're not laughing anymore.
Yeah. Only
at least we're laughing.
At least we're laughing. This story here from phys.org, PHYS, France sees blockchain as anti-monopoly weapon in a digital world. So the finance minister here in your country, Bruno Le Maire, said that France is pushing blockchain as a means of preventing finance giants that are enjoying a monopoly on transactions. That is a very good thing. He believes that blockchain protocols are a game changer.
That is true. And this is how fresh the news is. He said that earlier today.
He did say that earlier today. It's good. This is not fake news. This is real.
This is fresh news here in France. And so that's what's going on, is France has already put in, legal, fiscal, and accounting structures to manage fundraising in the digital currencies as a pillar of the blockchain economy. He said that's what's interesting about France is, in the next article, it really it tethers on to this. All right. Yes, I will accept cookies. Yes, cookies.
Yes, Forbes will take your cookies.
Cookies. That's one of the things is that on the next piece of news is France is asking the EU partners to adopt its cryptocurrency regulation. So France is definitely here in Europe pushing the envelope when it comes to blockchain and, regulating it, making it more official, and more countries are going to start adopting it.
Yeah, so the only blockchain and crypto news, according to this article, that has come out from some here in France is the anti-establishment protests that are going on, and various tobacco shops. Bitcoin can be bought, but other than these token appearances, the article says not much is being done in France to push the boundaries, and that's why we are here making the world know that France is totally on the map when it comes to blockchain.
Yep. And, that's one of the things that is interesting is that, this one article here that was talking about, as an anti-monopoly weapon, we had so many conversations now. A lot of technology has become a monopoly. I mean, Google, you literally cannot get Google out of your life. You think you can, but if any app uses maps, they're using the Google API because Google gave that map API away for free. Everybody integrates it. There was a great article on, I believe it was in Wired recently, where a lady said she's trying to get rid of Google from her existence. And so they used a VPN. They blocked every single call to any of Google's 29,000 URLs. And she couldn't use her phone. You can't use Uber anymore. You can't use Lyft because they're using the map API. There's just it's so integrated in. And when they start censoring and eliminating points of view, that's a problem. And that's one thing that's so exciting about blockchain is that, we're all about decentralizing technology and getting rid of these centralized powerhouses that are in our lives. And once these big centralized powers decide they don't like what you have to say, they'll just start burying your listings on the search results. They'll eliminate you from YouTube. If they don't like you on the Twitters, they'll shadow ban you.
You get depersoned,
deplatformed, depersoned. That's happening more and more. So that's why I think personally, everyone in this room is leading the charge and helping make the world a better place through, decentralized and distributed ledger technology, because we need it. We have to have this, because if not, we're going to get ourselves into this authoritarian dystopia where these technology companies control what we see and who we are and who we can talk to. I mean, you see what's going on in China with the Chinese social credit system. If they don't like what you have to say, you no longer get a ride on the train. You don't get to fly on an airplane.
You can't fly.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, you have a friend who has searched for some things that the government doesn't approve of? Well, guess what? Now your score is lower because you're a friend of this guy.
Unfriend.
Sorry, Mr. Joel Comm.
My score just went up.
Oh, man.
Well, that's why this is good news here from this story on
Do not be my friend. Your credit score.
Block Manatee. Right here in France, there's a new act that allows $2 trillion French insurance markets to invest in cryptos. The National Assembly here passed what is known as the Pacte Law, Plan d'action pour la croissance et la transformation des entreprises. Which, did I do okay? Oui? Très bien.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, moi.
From a legit France guy.
The Action Plan for the Growth and Transformation of Enterprises just passed on April 11th, 147 in favor, 50 against. And this will allow insurers to invest in crypto assets without any limitations via specialized funds. But blockchain is dead.
Blockchain is a fact. $2 trillion, have been approved up that they could then trade in crypto?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And what, our market cap of crypto right now, you said, was $175 billion? I love that. That's great news.
I do too.
That's the kind of stuff when you read it and you go, mass adoption is coming. The world just doesn't know it yet.
It's happening right now. It's almost like the tremors before a real earthquake hits, the calm before the storm. You can feel the wind blowing, but it hasn't quite started thunder and lightning yet. And that's what we're all seeing as plain as day. We don't need special glasses to pick up on the fact that this is going to hit like a tsunami, and people are going to wake up one day and think, there's this new thing. Oh, this new thing that's been happening for the last 12 years. Mm-hmm. That new thing?
Yeah. They know of blockchain, or they know of Bitcoin. A lot of them don't necessarily know about blockchain, right? The Bitcoin is dead, though, right? It's been dead.
I'm pretty sure it's coming
back. I think
back.
about 400 times it's died.
This is also good news here from from Europe here. This is a first in fintech. Apparently, the London Stock Exchange is now debuting stock tokens. Did you guys know about this?
Yeah, 3 million GBP tokens, Great British Pound, of tokenized shares were launched on one of the oldest stock markets in the world. Now they're starting to do security tokens. Are you serious? The London Stock Exchange, founded in 1570-something, is now trading in security tokens? Another great piece of news. Again, adoption is coming, and it's exciting.
Yeah, Luke Saunders, who is the CTO at Amazix, we've actually spoken with Luke before, says while the tokenization of assets is nothing new, it's significant that one of the financial sector's most important players is now embracing blockchain technology. All good news as far as I'm concerned. Now, you mentioned earlier that Bitcoin SV was taking a major tumble. Mm-hmm. Some call him Craig Wright, some call him Satoshi Nakamoto, some call him Fake Toshi.
Fake Toshi. We actually interviewed him and on a previous episode. And, he had a really interesting case that he was one of the, of the consortium of people who created, a Bitcoin. He's got a lot of Bitcoin, and so that's always interesting. But, CZ of Binance called him out this week, right? They're having like a little.
There's a little feud going on.
Having a feud going on.
Yeah,
for sure.
CZ decided to delist Bitcoin SV from their exchange, and I guess it's because Craig Wright was essentially threatening media outlets that were refuting that he's Satoshi Nakamoto. He's coming right out, and for all those years he didn't say a word.
Well, that's what's so weird is he went through all of these steps to ensure his anonymity, and then all of a sudden he's all like, "No, I'm Satoshi Nakamoto." It's just so weird that he would go through that, and then all of a sudden call that he is him. So it's just bizarre.
So there's
trying to sue people.
CZ is encouraging other exchanges to delist as well, and the price has taken quite a bit of a tumble.
Several have dropped are delisting it. Yeah,
I'm delisting it.
That's good. That's good from the bad exchange.
It's gone from the bad exchange for good.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Actually, Tyler Winklevoss tweeted out and said we've actually never had BSV on that. So sorry, Mr. Craig Wright, who again is not my relative.
It doesn't bode well for Bitcoin SV? You know, once you start getting delisted from the big exchanges, where do you go from here?
You go the style of BitConnect.
Yeah, no, don't. Nobody should go BitConnect. Last news story to cover. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the largest YouTuber in the world, PewDiePie. Whatever you think of him and what he makes videos about, he's approaching 100 million subscribers on YouTube. And as Travis referenced, you know, with Google being so centralized and YouTube being the final arbiter of what goes on and what doesn't, PewDiePie has made a huge move, and he is switching his live video streams to DLive, which is a blockchain-based platform. This is huge.
It is. Because, I mean, the thing is like, you may not listen to PewDiePie, but guess who does? Millennials and Gen Z are listening to PewDiePie. They tune into this guy all the time. He has more followers than all of mainstream media combined. Like, more, like, 2, maybe 5x as many of all of them combined. So it's crazy. He has more pull than all of media.
Pretty much.
95 million subscribers. And so he has said he's moving to blockchain. He's moving to DLive. And he signed an exclusive contract with those guys for his live videos. That's huge. Another sign that mass adoption is coming when the big content creators realize that YouTube is censoring people, and then there's a big problem with that centralization. Now they're going to a decentralized platform. That's pretty big news.
I think it's good news, and I think it's more proof that we are in the right place. And that's where he will insert our transition music that's going to take us to our feature. Adam, come on down here, buddy. We're going to get you seated, and then we'll give you the proper introduction, and the crowd will go wild. They will go absolutely insane.
Woo!
Not yet. Just
Prepare
hold
your
it.
woos.
Bottle your woo and prepare to release it, please. You're in the green seat, mate.
Unless you like the pink one.
We got a mic there for him. Let's test it out. Make sure we're good. Go ahead and talk into it, and hold it close, like
Oh,
you,
yeah.
like
Hold
you
it
make love
closer, Tony
to your
Danza.
microphone.
You got it? Can you hear me?
You're good. I can hear you.
We hear you great.
All right,
Okay,
mate.
so here we go, coming into our next segment. And now we're pleased to have join us on the stage here. I love these stage things. Like, we can eyeball people, see them face to face, right? Have those kind of conversations. The CEO of a company and a website that we encountered, how long ago? How long has it been, Trev?
Several months, I would say.
No, wasn't it? Oh, sorry. Wasn't it like back in August or something?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Back in August.
His name is Adam Todd. He's the CEO of Digitex Futures, and they are a non-custodial, commission-free futures trading exchange. They're onboarding traders to their beta version of their platform right now. They've got 1.3 million people.
1.4.
Well, that just happened
1.4?
since we started. 1.4 million people on the wait list to use this exchange, and this is why you guys need to hear about this. Welcome to Bad Crypto, Adam Todd.
Thank you very much. It's great to
Very
be here.
good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So when we first discovered, I guess we should give full disclosure here. Just all the furniture, however you like. If you want to move
you
the
move it all
table,
around?
hang some artwork.
Kick the table.
We weren't happy that our logo wasn't at the bottom, so we put the sticker on the screen there. So now we're on every screen now. When we first encountered Digitex, it was actually a friend that told Travis, you need to
A
check
friend of mine
it
was
out.
like, "Oh my God, you got to check out Digitex. They're doing something nobody else is doing with futures, and they're doing with this token. There's going to be no trading, or there's going to be no fees. They're using this token. You got to check it out." And I think when we started working with them, the coin was what, about a penny, half a penny,
Yeah, it was somewhere between-
0.008 maybe.
Yeah, something like that. And we were invited to become advisors, marketing advisors, social advisors with Digitex. And now the coin is worth 12 cents, and I'm going to
It's
take...
all thanks to you.
It's
Thank
all
you very
thanks
much.
to
So much. We're going to get that sound bite there. And
Yeah. Of course it's not. Of course it's due to what you guys have put together. So why don't you go ahead and summarize for us what Digitex Futures is?
Yeah, sure. Basically, we're a commission-free futures exchange. We're also, people are going to be able to trade futures on the prices of Bitcoin against the dollar, gold, oil, things like that. But the only currency that you use on the exchange is the Digitex token. So all your account balances in the Digitex token your profits and losses, that you're trading Bitcoin or gold, but you're winning and losing in Digitex tokens.
Why? Why
Well, but the way we do it, by doing it that way, that's what allows us to get rid of the commission fees, because now we control the currency. So instead of charging transactions on trades, which is something that penalizes the most active traders and stifles liquidity, by doing it that way, then instead each year we can just mint a small number of new tokens each year to cover the costs. So basically it's switching from, because you got to make money from somewhere. It's not, you can't just be free, it's you're happy clappy. It's
that's what the U.S. Treasury does. They just make money from nowhere,
yeah,
right?
we're
Just
not
roll
the
the
US
printing
Treasury.
presses. Let's
Yeah.
make more. Let's put it out there. We need more money out there.
And it's very happy clappy. Is that what you said?
No, see, the way we do it is because, by doing it that way, and we can, basically it allows people to trade in a very free way. They can trade, I'm trying to think of a good way to say it really. It just allows short-term traders to pursue very active trading strategies that they can't pursue on other exchanges. So it's going to create a lot of liquidity. That creates a lot, liquidity begets liquidity, basically. So it's going to attract a lot of traders that are attracted to commission-free trading, but also to liquid markets, because the other big cost of trading isn't just commissions, it's slippage. So by doing that, we create a lot of demand for the token. So that's why we make the token use compulsory. A lot of these exchange tokens, you can use the exchange token to pay fees with, or you can pay fees with other currencies. We don't have fees, so we've made the use of the token compulsory, which creates demand from the traders. That's why we've made it compulsory. Also, at the end of this year, we're also going to be going non-custodial, but we're going for the hybrid model. I saw the panel earlier. We're going to be like the hybrid model of a centralized order book and decentralized account balances using the Plasma protocol on Ethereum's blockchain. So we're going to have the speed and the reliability and the low latency of a central order book, but your account balance is kept on the Ethereum blockchain by an independent smart contract that just tells our exchange how much money you're good for, and we allow you to trade according to what that smart contract's telling us, but we never actually physically hold onto your money. So we don't physically have your private key.
Get your hands off my money.
That's interesting.
Right.
Yeah. So what are you most excited about this? I mean, I think you have a very interesting background when it comes to, didn't you do a lot of trading, and you worked in the space with futures and whatnot previously. So now that you're building this in the crypto space, what are some of the things that you're most excited about the platform? Because it seems to me that it's totally different than what other people have been doing in the space.
Yeah, I used to be a pit trader. I was a futures trader for a few years in the pits, and then I went to the screens, and then I was trading sports betting for years. And I've always just hated commissions. Commissions have really
Takes your profits away.
Well, yeah, it makes it really hard to make any money. So I'm excited to make something that's it's like a level playing field. It's an exchange where people can actually make money. By creating an exchange that has value, commission-free trading, trustless, you don't have to trust the exchange with your money. And by having its own exchange token, you're creating that value, but that token is efficiently capturing that value. So by making something really fair where retail traders can actually make money, there are no mechanical edges against them. We're not bringing the institutions in and giving them preferential treatment on commissions, on execution time, things like that. We're actually making something that's really fair that people can actually make money on, and because of that, the token is going to capture that value, and the demand that comes from new traders attracted to this commission-free, highly liquid markets is going to drive the price up. So I'm just excited by the fact we're building something that has real value. There's a real need for it. But by doing that, this whole new business model that we've got of moving away from transaction fees to this other type of tokenized kind of revenue model, I just think it's going to be great. It's going to be really interesting.
How do you get that kind of buzz with 1.4 million people waiting in line and on the mailing list to?
I mean, obviously it helps that the concept is great to start with. You need a good concept, but we just really got the viral marketing down. We really figured it out. The ICO that we did, we got 250,000 people signed up for that in 2 weeks, and that sold out in 17 minutes. And we really thought, oh wow, that's we really figured that out kind of by accident, but we
And
got
then, like
it
the
right.
next day, the market tanked, right? After the ICO was over?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for that, Adam. That was so great.
Yeah,
we really appreciate that in January.
But
2018.
despite that, I mean, the world, the worst bear market in crypto history, we 12x'd in that time. Imagine if it had just stayed the same. We would have just gone on fire.
Right. Well, which is why I find this article you just published on the Digitex blog here interesting. Last month, you wrote and made a prediction, which is really brave in a bear market that might be recovering to a bull. You predicted that Ethereum is going to hit $2,000 or more by the end of this year or into 2020. How do you? I mean, it's at $163 right this moment.
What's the math behind that?
I'm surprised it went down as far as it did. I mean, you've just been saying yourself, that 2 trillion figure, we're at 170 billion now. There's massive upside for this, massive upside. The world is going to know cryptocurrency. It is the new internet. So it's just a question of which one is going to be the winner. Maybe Ethereum won't be the winner, maybe it won't, but maybe it will. And if it is, and I believe it is, because it's the backbone of probably 80% of tokens. It's it's going to be running your fridge and your pet robot and all that kind of stuff that comes out very soon that people really don't see yet. Ethereum is the developer community that's behind it. There's 250,000 developers. The leadership's great. It just has everything in place, I think. I think it went down. It got punished far too much. The price that it came down to is just ridiculously low. I just think it's ready for one hell of a pop. I just see one hell of a pop coming up. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. And maybe it's anecdotal because I just see so many smart people. Whenever I meet the really smart people in cryptography, they all seem to be the Ethereum guys. And maybe, like I say, maybe that's just anecdotal for me, but I just see a hell of a pop coming very soon.
Well, it's interesting because I think with Ethereum, when it was popping, it was because those ICOs were going on, and the money was going. Lots of money was going in, lots of money was going out. There's a lot of transactions. Now the ICO market sort of dried up, so those big those big Ethereum moves by those whales don't seem as much.
Right, but that was the ICO market. There's so many other utilities for something that it can be the back end of so many things. There's so much utility for that coming in the future. So much. It's going to run everything.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about exchanges here and what is it that, futures trading and Digitex, what makes it different from what else is available out there, and why do you believe that, besides that it's your baby, why is it going to win the day? Because everybody thinks their child is the most beautiful child.
Right.
Is it the same as the ETFs? I mean, what's the difference between ETFs?
Well, I mean, it's coming back to the zero fees. I mean, everybody loves zero fee, right? Every exchange that's out there has this transaction fee model. It's the same model that's been used since, you said the London Stock Exchange was 1500 and something.
Yeah.
They're all using the same model since then. It's all, you do a trade, you pay a transaction fee. That transaction fee is constantly, draining liquidity from the pool. You've got so many people put money into the pool, and if they just trade away and don't put any more money in, eventually the exchange has got all the money, because it's like a leak. It's like the exchange is siphoning off the money. With our model, we're not siphoning off that money. The liquidity pool stays intact, so that only the winners are taking it from the losers.
Are you inferring that there's a lack of integrity in the crypto exchange markets?
I mean, it's not really a lack of integrity.
In the exchange markets, all industries.
It's not really a lack of integrity. It's just that the model is flawed in that it's constantly draining money out of the system. There needs to be constant deposits into the system for there to stay the same amount of money in there. With our model, where we don't charge the transaction fees, not only do we get the great liquidity because people can pursue these very active short-term trading styles, but there isn't that constant leak of money coming out. So it's just a much better system, and that value that we create from that exchange gets efficiently captured by the token, and the token goes up, and it means that for the first time ever, the exchange's interests are actually aligned with the actual users of the exchange. Usually an exchange, it's us versus them. The exchange is trying to milk the users for as much money as they can in the form of transaction fees. With us, we actually want the same thing as our users. We just want the token price to go up, as our users do, because they're holding the token price.
And you're doing futures now, and then you're going to do it sort of the spot trading later, maybe?
Yeah, we're going to bring in a spot market later on because, it would be nice for you to be able to buy the token on our spot market too. And then, we could probably get into the, the IEO business kind of things like that, because it seems like a good idea.
It is
right?
interesting. Are you going to be able to leverage? Like, a lot of times with futures, you're like doing 10x leverage or,
Yeah, there's going to be leverage, yeah.
Nice. That could really hurt some people if they do wrong, right? If you do the stop loss or
Yeah,
what is it?
You got to be careful. I mean, it depends on the volatility of the contract. Gold is probably going to be a little more civilized than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's probably going to be savage at 100x leverage. Yeah.
Wow.
Gold is going to
100x.
be civilized. My gold is civilized.
Gold's a little more civilized than Bitcoin.
We know that. Well, we know that paper gold is not civilized, and paper silver.
paper
is not.
silver.
Those markets are so manipulated; it's ridiculous.
Well, what market isn't?
That's so
really?
true.
I mean,
Good stuff. So, what you're building. How do you think this is going to impact the industry?
I think it's going to be huge. I mean, if we can get, we've got 1.4 million people on the wait list there. I mean, I don't think 1.4 million of people are going to sign up. You send an email out to people, you get a 10% open rate. 10% of those click on the link. 10% of those take action. So we're not going to get anything like that number, active traders. But if we can get, 5% of them, we got 50, 60,000 active traders on there, crazy liquid markets without having to invite these institutions in as market makers who just always want this preferential treatment, So we'll have a crazy liquid market that's actually a level playing field. The one lot trader has just as much chance of winning as the 100 lot trader. And I think that is certainly going to impact the market because, I mean, how couldn't it?
Well, we appreciate the insights, and certainly, as advisors, we love seeing the developments. So, for people, which exchanges now are you listed on, and how do people get DGTX tokens?
Right now, we're on Merctox, we're on HitBTC, we're on a few others. We've also got the Digitex Treasury as well. We started off the Digitex Treasury March the 1st. We're kind of pioneering there how projects finance themselves going forwards, because a lot of them fail. We kept back when we created when we did the ICO, we created 1 billion tokens. We kept back 100 million of them as our treasury. Now a lot of projects have a treasury of tokens, but they're forced to kind of sell them in these backroom deals and sell them at half price to whales who then fuck up the market when they want to sell them whenever they want or hold the project ransom or something. So what we did with our 100 million treasury, we lock them away into a smart contract for the next 2.5 years, and then they get released 10% at a time every 3 months. And they get put into a token sale smart contract that gets sold to the public slightly higher than the exchange rate. So people that currently own Digitex tokens, they can still sell their tokens no problem on the exchanges. We're not undercutting them, but the market knows that we've got this large amount of tokens for sale, but they know how we're going to sell them, when we're going to sell them. It's very transparent and clear. They know we're not going to dump, we're not going to sell them to whales. It's just a very transparent, clear mechanism for the next 2.5 years of funding that makes people a lot more comfortable. We introduced that on March the 1st. Our token was, I think it was around 4.6 cents or something, and it's tripled since then. We've said we're going to sell all these tokens, and the market's gone up threefold. So it went down really well. So I would say, buy tokens from the Treasury, but you can also buy them from other exchanges too.
Very good.
DigitexFutures.com. Let's have a hand for Mr. Adam Todd.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
All right, and that's where we'll play some fancy transition music. And Adam, you are free to go have a drink,
Well, thank you very
or
much.
whatever it is
Are
you
they
like to
doing
do.
drinks now? Is that what's up?
And in the meantime, let's get Mr. Alex Mashinsky up here because he is there he is in the back of the room. All right,
There he
Alex,
is.
come on down.
Dun, dun, dun,
Hey,
dun,
thanks,
dun,
buddy.
dun,
That was
dun, dun,
fantastic.
dun, dun, dun. Thank you, Mr. Adam Todd. That's good. Perfect. You
You guys are about to. This guy's going to take the bull by the horns. You're about to be wowed by this.
good,
All
sir.
right, come on in, have a seat. We'll do the formal introduction here. Well, informal because I'm wearing my sneakers, so not too much. All right,
You got the Bitcoin socks on, which is nice.
I do have the
I
Bitcoin
got
socks on.
I got my French socks on.
And my special bad crypto shoes, designer shoes from undandy.com. Aren't those fun? They actually have engraved into the shoe.
Restez mauvais.
Right here. It says "Stay Bad," which is our thing.
little
Okay,
catchphrase.
here comes do the bumper music into it, and we are pleased to welcome our next guest to the show, a man who is incredibly passionate about the blockchain space. In fact, after he was part of a panel here earlier today, I saw people mob him because he's not afraid to call out the BS that's out there, especially where it comes to the banks.
Is that what those bruises are?
I say bad things about banks every day. So
That's good.
Yeah, well, you're
I pick
about
a
to
fight
say
with
some
them every
more.
day.
That's good.
His name is Alex Mashinsky. He's the CEO and founder of Celsius Network, a blockchain-based borrowing and lending platform. He's also one of the inventors of the VoIP protocol. If you guys didn't know that, he's got a foundational patent dating back to 1984, and now he's working on another.
1994. I'm not that old.
Sorry, 1994. Yeah.
1827.
When the internet was new. And now he's working on another internet protocol called MOIP, Money Over Internet Protocol Technology.
Moip.
MOIP, MOIP, MOIP.
From VoIP to MOIP.
Please welcome Alex Mashinsky.
Very nice.
Dude, what did you say I just caught the very end of the panel before, but you stirred a pile of something because people wanted to come up and talk to you. What did you say that
They had words for you.
Yeah.
If you notice, they didn't let me finish either. They cut me off. I was too controversial.
Well, that's all we've got for today. No, please. I'm not cutting you off. Go ahead. Tell us the controversy.
Listen, it was funny because back in the 90s, early 90s, when I would go to a conference, because I used to do this for VoIP also, and they actually escorted me. They would take me out of the conferences because the phone companies would complain so much that I was in their face, basically giving them a hard time about how they're abusing all of sending us bills that are just ridiculous, right? And today we all get this service for free. So this is, I've seen this movie before, right? Where in the beginning they ignore you, then how is this?
They laugh.
Then they
at
laugh. We're at the end of the laughing stage. Now they're like starting to take you seriously. They're calling the regulators. They're like, who is this Mashinsky guy? Find something to arrest him for. And
You're a disruptor by nature, huh?
yes, I've done it several times.
So go ahead and put some meat on that when you talk about calling out the banks. Go ahead. I want to hear, lay down your best.
Look, it's very simple, right? Most of us don't have PhD in economics and don't understand how banks make their money, right? We think that the banks make their money from charging us $20 a month for our checking account or for charging us late fees for our credit card. That's not how banks make their money. When you go downtown, any city, go to Paris, go to London, go to New York City, the best real estate, the biggest, brightest, best building always belongs to a bank or an insurance company. How can a bank that's supposed to charge you $20 for your checking account can afford the best real estate anywhere, right? So again, JP Morgan makes $30 billion with a B, $30 billion in profit every year. How can a bank make $30 billion in profit?
Is it fractional reserve banking?
They take your money for free, right? You make your deposit, they pay you nothing. Only if you're smart enough to move it from the checking account to the savings account, and you do it on the first of the month, and you didn't trip any wires, and you sign up for a year, and then you get 1.1%, right? But they get their money, basically your money for free. JP Morgan has trillions on deposit, trillions with a T, something like 14 trillions. Half of their deposit do not pay any interest. Half of their deposit do not pay any interest. By definition, because they make it impossible for you to earn any interest, okay? I just called my bank in New York that I'm not gonna name names because I'm still banking with them, and they told me the minimum amount on my corporate account that they will pay me interest is $25 million. They will not pay me any interest less than $25 million on deposit. I mean, it's just a joke, you understand? So the banks take that money for free, and then they give you a credit card, and they charge you 25% on that credit card. 25% on your money.
On money that never existed until you first swiped
through
it.
fractional reserve, exactly. So, and in the U.S. we're banks have 10-to-1 leverage. In Europe, they're allowed to go 50-to-1.
50-to-1 in Europe?
Deutsche Bank right now.
What?
Deutsche Bank, public information has $50 of liabilities or leverage right? These are things they issued, $50.
So if you put $1 million in the bank account, they can now loan out $50 million.
Right. They create IOUs and lend out.
I'm starting a bank. First bank of Joel.
So let's say they
I'm going to loan
leverage-
you some money, Travis.
Thank you, bro.
So let's for simple math, since we don't have calculators, we're just going to keep it 10 to 1, right?
Okay.
So if I'm giving you a credit card and I charge you 24%, and now I leverage it 10 to 1, how much am I making per year? 10 times 24.
24. Wow.
I'm making 240% on my money. The money I got for free.
It didn't even exist.
Now, so the only thing I'm saying, I'm not saying don't make 240%. I'm saying, why aren't you paying the depositor 7%? That's all I'm saying. I'm just asking a very simple question. If you're making all this fucking money, okay, can we use the F word here?
okay.
You just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you're making a killing, and when you make a mistake and you blow up, we come and bail you out. We, the users, right? The American citizen, the European citizens, we are paying it through our taxes when we bail you out. Can we at least get 7%? Do you really need to make 240 and keep everything and give us less than 1%? That's where the egregious abuse is just, I mean, I don't even have words for it, you know?
I don't even understand it. Like, if I have $1 million in my bank account and I'm a bank, how can I loan out $50 million because
Well,
I only
there's a
have
law.
$1 million?
So fractional reserve is a law that allows you to do that. It's a special law that
Really? So
if
if I
you
just
have a
set up
banking
Travis, if I
license-
just set up the Travis Bank, then all of a sudden I can do 10 to 1. People can deposit money, and now I can loan out money.
So,
Figments of our imagination.
so after 2008, when we had all the Sarbanes-Oxley and all these other laws that were created, basically to get a banking license, it's like 60,000 pages of regulation.
Ah, okay.
And it became much harder to get a banking license, not much easier, right? So,
Because they're consolidated, the monopolies are
well, because
consolidating.
the regulators want to protect us, and by protecting us, they put so many rules that no new entrants can come in and do anything there. So all they did is created artificial monopolies with the existing bank. That's why the banks that are left are much bigger than they were in 2007 and 2008 before the collapse. So, but anyway, look, we can talk about banks all day long. The question is, how do we solve the problem? Not
Let's fix it. Let's fix it.
Right,
So
let's fix
that's
it.
your mission
First,
now.
get really mad.
I'm already mad.
All right, I'm mad too.
Yeah, well,
are you guys mad?
Yes.
Look at I'm so mad.
Mad as hell and not going to take it anymore.
Well, you got so mad that you came up with this solution that you intend to turn the model on its ear.
So, you know, again, people come to me and they say, wow, Alex, what a genius idea. How did you come up with it? Like, what, was it like an inspiration in the middle of the night? No, it's very simple. Whatever the bank does, we do the opposite. They charge fees, we don't charge fee. They take 80%, we pay 80% to the depositor of what we make, right? Out of the money that it's just, our tiny company with 55 people are profitable, right? This month, we will be profitable by just keeping 20% of what we collect from the $100 million that people gave us in deposits.
It's Celsius.network. I downloaded the app. You got the app on Google Play and on iOS. You secure it with BitGo, and you have your own token. So what is the Cell token? Why does that exist?
So the idea behind this whole ICO craze in 2018 was that in this new economy, right? And I think we've heard this story back in 2000, right? It kind of takes us all back to 2000, where everything was internet, everything was .com.
2000, we had to walk
That's
barefoot
crazy.
through the snow to get bandwidth.
Mr. Joel Comm over here built one of the first 20,000
Right.
websites. True.
That is true.
That is true story.
So the dream was always bigger than the reality. But when you look at it 10 years later or 20 years later, the companies like Amazon and Google and all these, they all started during that period. It's just the number of winners, right? We have like basically 5 winners out of the entire internet. And anyone who's expecting more winners out of the entire blockchain craze doesn't understand how this stuff works. We may be going to have 5 great winners, maybe. Now, the winner on the blockchain gets to keep all the money in the world. The winner on the internet gets to do search or gets to do travel or gets to do movies. So the scale, and I said that many times, people look at me like, they actually look at me like that, like you have the video, and, you know. They look at me and go like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, no, it's all the money in the world. If you can create a solution that bypasses the bank, that enables people to earn this kind of yield or get loans for half of what they charge you on your credit card, why would anyone use the banks? Why would anyone deposit at the bank? So how much money do the banks have? All the money in the world. It's that simple. So what at stake here is the entire economic structure, because crypto slash currencies, right, digital currencies, touch every aspect of our economy. It's not just travel or movies or search or whatever. Everything is denominated in dollars. Everything is transacted in dollars. And they're abusing every part of the economy. I mean, the reason the French regulators just passed, 2 days ago, the French regulators passed a law that enables utility tokens, as long as they're approved by the AMF, that's a regulator, to be issued and transacted as a legal utility that is separate from the securities business. So they're basically saying, banks, you have the security business, you guys want to die there with your securities and all that stuff, great, good for you. We're creating a whole new thing. Doesn't exist in the United States, doesn't exist in England, doesn't exist in any other country in the world. This is the first time anyone in the world has taken this idea of a utility token and made it legal by law.
That's great.
That's what's new. 2 days ago, guys, right here in France. Did anybody know that?
We talked about it in our news segment. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
so what does that mean, right? What does that mean? That's like, again, Internet 1994. Okay, that's what it means. It means, again, an explosion. There's going to be an explosion of innovation. People are just sitting there and scratching their head and saying, well, what does it mean? What can I do with it?
You're going to have MOIP. You're going to have MOIP.
MOIP.
You
We're
can
gonna
have
MOIP
MOIP.
it. I want to ask about that. You said Internet 1994, and we've often asked guests on the show, where do you think we are? And the only thing we can relate it to, the last technology boom, was the World Wide Web.
We are pre-Netscape.
So that, I believe that is true, but I'm also modifying my thinking, and I want to know what you think about this. I feel like the technology time frame is compressed, and the longer, more development happens, time for everything to come to market and become dominant compresses. So wouldn't that theoretically mean that we got past 1994, we hit the first dot-com boom and then bust, and
Not
maybe
yet.
we're going to have another hype
We
cycle and
haven't
bust?
hit the Netscape moment yet. We don't
No?
have a single killer app that, look, Netscape, a month before Netscape browser launched, right, there were something like 15 or 17 million users on the internet, like nothing. And a month after Netscape launched, there were over 100 million users. Like
So
100 million people downloaded.
the killer app defines that moment?
Yes, because that becomes the DApp, like I was saying that in my presentation in the other room. The DApp drives the protocol, and then the protocol drives the DApps. Right now, the DApp, the distributed application, which does not yet exist on any blockchain, not a real killer app, is going to drive the standard, is going to drive the regulators, is going to drive adoption. And the app back then was the browser. The browser was the thing that showed everybody, okay, it's computer-based, it's this user interface, it's a browser window with navigation bars, and everything is going to be based on that. We still use that. What you have on your phone is still the Netscape browser. It's just spiffy, and you can stretch it, and it does languages.
It's more advanced, yeah.
But it's the same thing. We haven't advanced at all since 1995, right? So
And yet I have all this gray hair now. Explain that to me. What happened?
there's great color products here if you want. So look, the blockchain is so slow, people don't understand it. Again, 10, 11 transactions a second, okay? My phone, I don't have it because you have it, but my phone does more transactions than the fastest, my tiny little iPhone does more transactions per second than the smartest, fastest blockchain ever created, okay? By a factor of 100. That's how slow it is, right? So the internet, again, how many people here are technical? Who here has a technical degree? All right, good. So we can talk tech. So TCP/IP, the protocol, right, runs faster the more nodes you add. You have 2 nodes, it's okay, it's not so fast. You add 100 nodes, it runs much faster. You can cut half of the network, it keeps running. It doesn't get affected by the fact that you're chopping out half of the network. Blockchain works the opposite way. You put 2 nodes, it runs lightning fast. You can do 1 million transactions a second if you wanted. You start adding nodes, it's slowed down to a crawl. The reason the Ethereum network or the Bitcoin network are so slow is not because the protocol is slow. It's because it has 10,000 nodes, and all the nodes have to agree that you just did something, right? That is the issue. And it's by design. Anyone who's trying to speed up the blockchain doesn't understand anything about the blockchain. By design, to get consensus, you need time. You cannot, if you're doing it fast, then you don't have consensus. If you're doing it fast, you don't have an open ledger, and so on, so on. So all these people, all these techies up there who's talking about, look, I've seen this movie several times. I have 50 patents to my name, including a few famous ones. They have no idea what they're talking about. Everybody's trying to be faster than the next guy. You're fast, you just sacrificed all of the consensus that we spent 10 years or 20 years developing. So it's not about speed, it's about the killer app. I kept saying that on the panel, and they kept ignoring me because they don't understand the tech. I don't think any of the guys here were techies, you know? So they're all thinking financial products or this or that, but you need a killer app that does not mind that this is a slow network. And what I'm designing is something that doesn't care. Again, 1 transaction a week, that's all we do. We pay interest once a week, that's it. That's all we're putting on the blockchain.
Really? Let's talk about that a little bit, because you said that you've had 100 million deposits,
$100 million worth of crypto on deposit.
Yeah,
We just announced it.
So we're talking specifically
You have an exclusive.
about depositing crypto, not depositing fiat.
Because they want to earn.
We do not accept any fiat.
Okay.
So we cannot accept dollars or euros or anything like that. The only thing.
So how's this work? Because it's interesting. So let's say I say, all right, I'm going to deposit 10 Bitcoin in Celsius, and allegedly I earn interest.
Yeah, you download the app. We give you an address. It's a BitGo address, so the custodian is BitGo. You transfer your coins from whatever exchange or cold storage you have. Like if you have a wallet or whatever, you can transfer them into our wallet. The minute they hit BitGo, you start earning interest. What does
I'm
it mean,
looking at it
interest?
right here. I'm looking at the app. So Bitcoin right now, I can earn on whatever I deposit 5.1% interest on this.
Per year, yes. Some people asking me, is that per month? I'm like, we are not BitConnect. Okay?
That's great.
It looks like Bitcoin Gold, BTG, is paying 7%. How do you do that?
Dash pays 7.5%. Let me tell you a little secret. First, there's nothing that we do that is magic. When I explain to everything we do, and I'm happy to explain about every coin, you'll be like, wait, it's that simple? How come no one else has done this? So let's take Dash, since it's the highest paying interest, right? So people go like 7.5%. There's no way you can earn 7.5% on Dash. If you keep Dash in your cold storage on your Trezor, or you're keeping it on Ledger, you're earning nothing. If you're keeping it on Binance or Bitfinex, you're earning nothing. That doesn't mean that Binance is not earning anything. So Binance takes all of the depositors' Dash, puts it on a node, right? Stakes it, and earns 7.1%. They earn it, they just don't give it to you, just like the bank. Remember the conversation about the bank of how they earn 20, 50, 100, 200%? It's the same story here. How can a company like Binance, they'll probably never list me after this podcast, but how can a company like Binance make $1 billion? They announced last year they did $1 billion in profit. Not revenues, profit. So there are thousands of financial exchanges out there, right? In financial institutions out there. Do you know who the second most profitable? The first most profitable is ICE, which owns the New York Stock Exchange and many, many other exchanges. Second most profitable institution on the planet. Guess. And it's not Deutsche Bank. Binance. How can Binance go from nothing to the second most profitable institution on the planet?
They don't have very many employees. They don't have very much overhead.
They just keep all that money. They just don't share it with you. That's the secret.
CZ, where's my money?
Exactly. CZ, where's my money? So all we're doing is we're saying, hey, this is where they're stealing from you. we're going to give you back everything we make on this. We're going to run a node for you, a staking node. We're not going to charge you anything for it. Whatever we earn is going to show up in your wallet as additional Dash coins. Every week, we're going to put more Dash coins because we're getting them from Dash. We're just not going to keep them.
Right.
Now, people come to me. I was out, after my speech, I went outside, and this guy comes to me, and he's Lebanese, and he's like, between us, like, why are you doing this? You're going to steal it from the back. You're going to take the coins. You're going to run away with it. Like, everybody comes to me and says, there's got to be a catch here. You're not doing it for the people. You must be stealing. Where are you stealing? Like, what are you going to do? Run away with the coins? So all I'm doing is showing everybody where they're stealing. And again, I gave you the example, right? VoIP, the most valuable company in VoIP. Anyone knows? Anyone suggest? Anyone was my presentation? Most valuable company in VoIP.
Skype?
No, Skype got sold for $8 billion. There's another company sold for $22 billion to Facebook. WhatsApp.
Oh, WhatsApp, yes.
How much revenues does WhatsApp have?
Very little.
Zero. Not very little. Zero.
That's very little.
That's very little.
Very little. So how can a company with zero in revenues be worth $22 billion? Because the community is 1.5 billion users. That's what we're going after. We're basically saying if it's all about all the money in the world, and all we have to do is show all the holes, and billions of people are going to join us, how much is my company going to be worth? So I can continue giving everybody here all the money I'm making, and I'm still going to make $1 billion. You don't have to steal to make money. The problem that we have is that everybody who's doing it now, all these ICOs, they're all thieves. They're all like trying to steal. The minute they get the money, they go buy a Lamborghini.
That's crazy.
Right?
That's when Lambo. Now we know.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Celsius.network, spelled CELSIUS.network, Alex Mashinsky. Give him a hand.
Thanks so much.
Good stuff,
My mind's
Alex.
blown a little bit.
I know, just like, wow. Thanks. All right, we're going to do the show wrap here. You can hang for just a second. I know some people are going to want to probably ask you some questions and stuff when we're done here, but
We're going to do a rap?
we're going to wrap.
We're gonna rap battle?
We're going to wrap the show
Yo, chicken. No, we're not going to rap. We're not doing that.
in French.
French version.
So, Aaron,
Oui, ha, 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 ha. Oui, wah, ha.
That's what Americans are famous for, right?
oh my gosh. Okay, transition music. And apparently, as we wrap up the show, Travis is going to rap and take us out. So, are you going to do it in French?
I am not.
You're not?
I already did my rap. You already...
Wiki. What? Thanks for listening to the Bad Crypto Podcast, and you can find us in all the places that you would expect to find shows of lesser quality like ours. Please do follow, subscribe, and share. And we like to end every show by saying 2 words. Who knows what those 2 words are? What do you know?
Crickets.
That's right. But stay bad in French would be restez mauvais.
Restez mauvais.
Right? So you guys are going to help us out here. On the count of 3, scream out restez mauvais. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's try a little louder. Come on.
With some enthusiasm.
Because you're gonna hear this episode and you're gonna be like, oh, that guy over there that was like, restez mauvais, that was me. That was embarrassing. So one more time on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. All right. Thank you all very much for being here and joining us.
Yes, and stay bad.
And give myself a round of applause.
Yay! Thank you so much, man. That was awesome.
And I think that's it for the day. We will see everybody tomorrow morning, bright and early, and another day of great content. What are you doing? Thanks up there, team.